we'd like to welcome you to Cage Sport 23.
It is primal, the feel of a fight, the call for violence, and the men who answer. Their coliseum is a cage. No headbutting, eye gouging, or biting, but pretty much everything else is allowed, except mercy. None until the ref or the bell calls the fight.
It's two people are fighting. This is the form of fighting you want to know to survive.
But it's not just survival or protection for people like Ben Fodor, whom you may know better as the mass volunteer crime fighter Phoenix Jones. The sport is also about aggression, and it is everywhere. Hundreds of MMA fighters train in Washington state.
Make it burn, make it burn.
The sport's popularity fueled by well-respected Washington coaches like Eric Wiseman.
Get that leg back, Ben.
He says a lot of his fighters are lost young men who find themselves in the ring.
I see people that used to get in some trouble, and MMA really did a lot for their lives.
But this mother will tell you that it's ruined others. She pieces together memories of a young man who wasn't aware MMA gives people of all sizes surprising precision and power.
An unskilled fighter, meaning a street fighter, so to speak, or a big, strong guy, cannot beat a skilled fighter.
No one knows that better than Christine Dubel.
Another bowling trophy.
Her son, 23-year-old Christopher Cooper, was walking home from an Oak Harbor bar last November. He was drunk on his cell phone, its video camera also rolling.
Where you been, dude?
He saw Jason Ellis, a 29-year-old who had previously argued with a friend of Cooper's.
You got beef?
As they jaw around, Cooper put the phone, still rolling, in his pocket. We don't know how the fight started, just how it ended, with Cooper knocked to the ground.
We ain't got beef.
That was Ellis as he left the scene. Christopher Cooper would never utter another word.
When I saw him through the glass, I didn't think it was my son at first because you couldn't recognize him. There was that much damage.
Doctors at Harborview Medical Center told Christopher's mother they had to remove half his skull to relieve pressure on his swollen brain. He was in a coma. 12 days passed, no response. Christine says her boy, who loved the outdoors, working, and bowling, would not want to be kept alive by machines.
That was the toughest decision I've ever made in my life. And if I had to do it again, I don't know if I could.
Christine had never heard of Jason Ellis before. Then she found out he is an MMA fighter. These are pictures from an amateur title he won 2 years ago.
They are trained to injure you immediately, to basically leave you helpless. But if he's going to do that, that needs to stay in the ring, not taken out into the public where something like this can happen.
And it is happening.
Your hands and feet are considered for probable cause to be deadly weapons.
Last year in Florida, fighter Fernando Rodriguez allegedly beat this man in a case of road rage. In San Diego, John Copenhaver, known as War Machine, got arrested for a barroom brawl. There are no official stats for charges against MMA fighters, but there are enough to fill this webpage, MMA mugshots.
His hand should be considered a deadly weapon. That's what he's trained for.
But Washington, unlike Florida, considers only objects to be deadly weapons, not fists. Now even fighters wonder whether they should be held to a higher standard.
An MMA fighter shouldn't face stiffer penalties for just throwing a punch, but an MMA fighter should face stiffer penalties when he chooses to go over that line and viciously cause harm, because I feel he is more in control of viciously causing harm when he does.
Discretion is literally in the fighter's hands, at least for now.
It should be banned or regulated to the extreme so that you can't just walk down the street and wonder, am I next?